Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day down here in Florida, and I will be discussing in this video techniques on replacing spark plugs on your motorcycle. These techniques can be pretty universally applied to all motorcycles and automobiles. First step is tool check. I have my complete socket set, the repair manual for this motorcycle, screwdriver, torque wrench, rubber mallet, a oil can here, a short length of coolant tube, some compressed air, the spark plugs obviously, and my spark plug gapping keys. The next step is gapping your spark plugs. When you go and purchase your spark plugs from your motorcycle store, you should ask if they're pre-gapped. Even if they are, you should gap them anyway just to be sure. What I like to do is I like to use this type of key. It's a little bit more accurate because it's got these wire measurements here. There are other slide keys that are easier to use, but these ones are a little bit more accurate. So my manual here says that the spark plug gap should be between 23 and 27 thousandths of an inch. So what I'm going to do is find on here the corresponding wire. This one here is my 25 thousandths of an inch, and this one here is the 28 thousandth of an inch. So the proper method to do this is to basically just slide the wire in between your gap right here. You can see that the 25 thousandth slides through pretty easily and 28 thousandth gets stuck. So you know it's between the two, and that is just perfect for this motorcycle. If I needed to adjust the gap, I would use either my rubber mallet to bang this tine down a little bit closer, or I would use a simple screwdriver to gently pry it up. Be very, very careful when you're doing this because A, you're working in thousandths of an inch, and B, some components of spark plugs are brittle and breakable. Okay, next step is numbering your ignition wires. These ones fortunately are already numbered for me. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4 back there. That's always a really, really good idea. Use a piece of scotch tape or make slash marks with a marker or whatever you have to do, because mixing up your wires can be a real pain in the butt. Now what we're going to do is gently pry off this wire here. And once that's off, we're going to shoot some compressed air down in here. Now I don't have an air compressor, so I use one of these. This is a really, really important idea to clean all the dust or anything that might be down in there away so it doesn't fall into the cylinder head. Anything non-combustible that goes into your combustion chamber is very likely to cause scouring and damage to your engine. This is the socket I will be using to extract the old spark plugs. It's got itself a little rubber grommet inside to hang onto the spark plug and pull it out, and also protect it when putting in the new one. So it comes out just like that. Whoops. There you go. When your spark plugs are out, it's a really good time to see how your engine is running. I have my old spark plug here on the left and the new one on the right, and you can see that there's a significant amount of black carbon deposits on the left one. This indicates that my bike is running a little bit rich. It's a work in progress. We're still working on it, so I'm not too concerned about that. It's something that I can pretty easily adjust with carburetor adjustments. However, if you see this kind of black carbon deposit right here, it means it's running a little rich. If it's white and powdery and a little bit sooty, that means it's running a little bit lean, which means that there's too much air in the gas-to-air ratio. If you carelessly install your spark plugs, you could damage your cylinder head by stripping the threads. The head of an engine is typically aluminum, and this spark plug is steel, and so it's much harder than the cylinder head. And if you put it in incorrectly, you can accidentally do a lot of damage. So a little trick that I like to do is to use a tube just like this. First off, I put just a drop of oil, just a dollop there to help it go in, and then I take this old piece of tube here and I sort of jam the spark plug right on there like that. There you go. What this does is this enables me, show you here, this enables me to A, thread the spark plug into a hole where my fingers might not be able to reach, and also if I'm stripping the heads, the cylinder, the spark plug here will actually rotate. It will actually rotate within the tube and not enter the engine, and that will protect my engine from accidentally stripping the threads. So here we go. You just rotate around just like that. And you just sort of spin it around like that. Bing! Now that I have the spark plug snug firmly in place by hand, I can torque it. My book says to torque spark plugs to 11 to 14 foot-pounds, which really isn't very much at all. And so I will be using my torque wrench here to do just that. Okay, spark plug torqued. Now it's time to replace the wire here, and be sure to listen for the snap. There you go. Now you know it's connected, and you're all done. And that was the proper way to replace the spark plugs on your motorcycle or car engine.